Alright, so with the new Running Man remake being directed by Edgar Wright, I'm going to, of course, review The Running Man, but that'll be at the end of this review series that I'm doing, which is that I'm going to review all of the Edgar Wright movies, starting with the Cornetto trilogy. Now, when I say all the Edgar Wright movies, there is one exception to that. I'm not reviewing Scott Pilgrim. Mostly because that movie's been talked about to death. Everybody and their moms talked about that movie. I reviewed that movie, though, back before Scott Pilgrim Takes Off came out. And so we're just going to do the Cornetto trilogy, Baby Driver, and Last Night in Seoul, and one other one. He did like a documentary in there. And then at the end of it, I will review the original Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that'll be this cap off this little review series. Shaun of the Dead is a pretty cool movie because it shocks me in different ways every time I watch it. First time I watched it, shocked me how funny it was because I didn't really know what Shaun of the Dead was. I thought it was just a zombie movie, and no, it was a very funny comedy movie. Second time I watched it, which is this time, it shocked me in a very different way. I hadn't seen this movie in forever. I haven't watched really the Cornetto trilogy in a long time. And watching it now, I'm like, wow, the humor of this movie is good. And the characters are so well written in the world building and all that stuff. Like, Cornetto trilogy, if you don't know why that's a thing, it's basically the set of movies that are spiritual sequels to each other because they're all directed by the same guy, but they all feel like they're set in the same universe because they're just that well crafted. They have flowing parts that are similar to the other ones, and this one is no exception to that. And so, I watched this one, and I laugh at a lot of the jokes, but I also just was suckered in by how great the world building is. How little the zombies were actually in it, which I didn't really remember that. Like, zombies are a part of this movie, of course, but it's not really about that. It's about something greater than that. It has things to say and things about it. It's really well edited. It has great comedic timing. It's just such a uniquely well directed movie. I mean, this being Edgar Wright's first movie, you can see why this movie popped off and became the movie that it was, because it's so unique and so different and well crafted and just put together overall. And I really was transfixed by it in that way. I don't remember this movie being as unique and special as it is, but it's true, it is. It's just a really great movie with so much about it that just pops off constantly. Stylistically, plot-wise, character-wise. It's such a unique experience as a movie. There aren't comedy movies like this. In fact, one thing I love about Edgar Wright is most of his career is comedy movies. But what makes this movie special in that sense is you really don't understand how bad the comedy genre is direction-wise. Every movie tried to be The Hangover or like Judd Apatow style directing. This just kind of lazy direction to them where they're not really well-directed movies. They're very plain looking. You watch movies like The 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's just, there's not, like, it's weird that people know his name, Judd Apatow's name, because he's kind of a director you shouldn't really know his name, because he has no style to his direction to his actual movies. But yeah, he makes all these great comedy movies. Well, I say great, but I'm not really a fan of Judd Apatow like that, but that's the whole thing for another day. But I don't know, I just think that he's such a unique director, and on the comedy scene like that, and it makes it really interesting watching these movies. So yeah, next week we'll be talking about Hot Fuzz. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe.